So as the US enters into the 1970s, we have a lot of events happening. We have the Green Revolution occurring. We have several different crises happening, such as the energy crisis. We have the Iran hostage crisis. We have stagflation occurring in the economy. We move into the 21st century. We get the Walmart economy. We get the dot-com economy. We get a great amount of globalization. And to end it off, we have several acts of terrorism that happen. And what does this mean for the country? I'd say that all this proves that the U.S. is entering in a state of decline. The main issues being the energy crisis, stagflation, and terrorism. So one of the first events that started this U.S. decline would be the energy crisis. We have the U.S. who are essentially hogging all the oil. They're using more than their share. And we have Israel and Saudi Arabia in this really long war. Saudi Arabia wants to change oil balances to help other Arab countries, and Saudi Arabia states that any country helping Israel will receive an oil embargo. And since the U.S. has been helping Israel, we're greatly impacted by this embargo to the point where if you look at this picture from the Environmental Protection Agency, the U.S. is very, very limited on oil, and it causes a major panic within the population. And it's very, very important to know that this makes the US think about their use of energy, but we still haven't learned from it, and it just shows how we're in a state of decline right now. The reason that we are in a state of decline is because of stagflation and the shifting economy. So at this time right now, the economy is really being impacted. We have all these companies that are starting to outsource their jobs to because it's cheaper for them and it's more profitable. And this causes unemployment to go up and people are out of jobs. So there's a panic within the people. And then we also have the value of the dollar going down. And we have President Nixon who took us off the gold standard. He had his price controls, which really didn't have any impact. And at the same time, we have inflation, which is going up. So rising interest rates are going up. Things are essentially going to cost more. And this really shows how we're in a decline because the people's purchasing power is going down and we're able to buy less. So we have to be more preservative with our money, and it just really shows how we're in a state of decline right now. So one of the last reasons that our country is in the decline is because of terrorism. So what exactly is terrorism? Terrorism is an act of violence with a political purpose. And we all know about the biggest terrorist attack, which was 9/11. And one of the main goals of 9/11 was to make the US afraid. And I believe that worked. And this is where we start showing our decline because, first of all, we have a divide between the people now. There's been divides before, but now we have a new one against Muslim Americans now. So that's really affecting us a lot. And there's also people starting to question the government and our safety protocols. With the release of the 9/11 Commission report, you can see how the government started counterterrorism acts like back in the 1970s, and the fact that we still let this happen to us really it's really questioning our government and our safety protocols, and it really just does not have a good impact on us. It doesn't show that we're strong, it shows that we're weak and that we're vulnerable. And to the other people, the people outside of the US, they're gonna think less of us now because of this, because of what happened. So as you can see from all these events that happened, the US is definitely in a state of decline. The energy crisis really causes panic due to oil and the fact that the US never learned how to deal with any of that. Stagflation really hurts the economy because we lose a lot of jobs and the value of the dollar keeps going down. Terrorism instills fear into people and makes the US look vulnerable. And some people say that terrorism really made us look strong because of all the heroic acts. No, I'd like to say that it really made us weak because there's always going to be heroic acts, but the overall effect that it had, it really showed that we were weak and vulnerable, and all of this just adds up to the decline.